Well, live, and it's senior runner here. I thought I'd go live for once. You know, I I started this running way before the wife died last year, and I did the Gosport Half Marathon, and she a bit of a tear in my eye. She stood. Well, she couldn't stand. She sat by a cafe and she watched me run the Gosport Half Marathon. Now she died last April, so it was the November before that. And I remember when she died, I thought I'm going to continue this running. And it was at that point I started to think. I guess you can hear it in my voice, can't you? It was at that point I thought I want to do better than what I'm doing, but I wanted to do it and bring everyone else in. Now I don't know if you're still there or you have actually just disappeared. But from what I saw of people on the internet looking at these running sites, and I love the running channel. I really do. But every time I looked at the running channel and all these other channels, they're heavily infiltrated by at least one or two ex-Olympic runners or runners that want to be Olympians or want to get back to being Olympians. And I'm not going to be an Olympian. I'm 59. I'm not going to. No way I'm going to the bloody Olympics. So I'm not trying to be the best in the world. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm not even trying to be the best in my age group. What I'm wanting to do is be the best I can be, because I always say in my videos, I'm me, and you can't copy me. But what you can do is take my information and see if it works for you. I have half a left lung. I have meningitis, and that's why I cough a lot. I can't stop coughing because half my left lung has disappeared, and I've got a shot. It's really red around my lung area. So that's my excuses, but it means I don't take as much oxygen in. So that's me. And I know I would never tell people, although I would never tell people you must do it like this. I thought I wanted to create a channel that people could follow me on, a little community, if you like. And I wanted you lot to be able to openly, stay on and chat rather than disappear. But you know, I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy learning from you, and hope that you learn from me. Um, so as last year sort of progressed, I thought, I'd like to take on this idea of a running channel rather than just having a YouTube channel that I sort of throw the occasional video of the latest Gosport Half Marathon on. I only had the wife's disabled car, so I was a full-time carer, so I couldn't go and do many other runs. The only runs really local is that one, and then there's a Stillington 10K which gets filled within about 24 hours, literally. Always jam-packed solid. So the only one I can get on is the Gosport Half, realistically. And I thought, I'd like to share my development and the things that I found along the way. So that's where the channel came from. I wanted to be different from those people who go out and give you this professional shoe. Look, I've just been given it free by New Balance, and they give me another two as well to train and run with it. And then they give you a nice little video on YouTube, and it really is a really good video. I'm sure they are. There was one only 2 weeks ago. 3 shoes they've been given for free, but they've been given them. They're not going to give you a bad read up, are they? So, and that's where my running shoe one came from. I thought Well, everybody who's being paid by YouTube, who are monetized, they're ex-Olympians, most of them. Apart from the running channel, has one or two newbies like me, but they're paid, and they're paid to provide these. They're given these shoes to do some running, and you're told what they by this whichever channel it is that it's a really good shoe and which one's best. They would never say anyone's bad because they've been given them for free and told to do a good write up. So I would never choose shoes and give you options. What I did, you see, is I gave you the shoe. I said, if you want to buy a shoe, this is how you're best approaching it from a newbie sort of status, a beginner. And I even went on through to the more elite runner, where you might go from a medium, middle of the road runner to, yeah, I'm just starting to edge onto that that Olympic group, and I'd just like to, what differences am I looking for? And that's what I was trying to do. Not look at the shoes in particular, look at what you're looking for. So I tried to I always try and make things different from the other running channels, and I always try and give you the information as I see it, because that's the other thing. If I give you what I believe, but then the more professional sites that are paid to promote certain shoes, they'll look at a New Balance shoe and they'll look at the technical details, and they're giving you the technical specification. It's like a bit too technical for me, mate. Just tell me how soft it is, and what sort of bounce has it got, and how much force does it absorb in the shoe. But it gets too technical. That's what I'm saying. So what I try and do is I try and bring it down to earth, so anybody can read my or listen to my videos, and then you get something that I believe is a nice eclectic mix of ideas that you can just throw around, but they're also never specific to they're never specific in that I never say I did this and you should do it. I always say I did this, it worked, and this is what it did for me, but I've got half a left lung. But you can try it, and hopefully it works. Now, I signed up for my third Gosport Half Marathon. That's what this is about. 7 minutes and 36 seconds in to say all that. The first time I ran with the Nike Run Club app, and I must admit, wasn't too keen on the Nike Run Club training. Didn't really. It was too much of a copy and paste type thing, that it was very stable, very stuck in its way. You are going to do this you can see your next 18-week plan, and that's it. You've done it. Didn't really work for me. The fact that you couldn't break it and then sort of give yourself an injury break and carry on was a bit difficult for me. And the wife was seriously ill at that point, and I'm thinking there are times when I just can't do it, and it wasn't flexible. You couldn't move it. You couldn't move it. You couldn't. It wouldn't absorb you being ill for a couple of weeks, having to look after the wife for a couple of weeks. So Nike Run Club app, when I did it for the first Gosport Half Marathon 2 Novembers ago, was a little bit cumbersome for me, and I struggled to get back to where I was 15 years ago, which was doing a half marathon in the New Forest in 1.5 hours. But so I did 2 hours 9, and I thought that's not brilliant. That's pretty poor. That's actually my worst ever. But there again, I have had sort of 15 years doing sort of 1 or 2 runs a week and leaving it at that. So I've not done nothing, but I've not done enough. And I thought, well, I got the Garmin 245, and I thought, let's give Garmin a chance. I've heard lots of things about Garmin, lots of things about all the other ones, Chorus, and all these other watches. Other watches are available, and I thought, something, you guys deserve to come along. And I created this channel probably about 6 months after, when I was well into the Garmin running, and I'm thinking, I'd like to do more about the actual style of running, and have a look at the data, and let's share the how to improve the cadence, how to improve the stride length, and I think I've done it, and I hope I've done well, because certainly people have started to sign up and started to subscribe. If you are listening, please do like and subscribe. I will be doing more and more of these little lives. I think it's important. I like to collect information personally, and hopefully eventually, I don't expect people to jump on and stay for a long time. I thought they might stay for more than 2 or 3 seconds, which is what they're doing at the minute. But eventually I'd like to be able to discuss things, and what runs have you been on? This is a flat run. So going on to what we're going to do next, it's the Gosport Half Marathon, and my nose is itching. It's really peeing me off, so I do apologize, but it's live, and live's like that, isn't it? So I decided I'd start the training with this Macmillan one on Garmin. I did it last year, and my times improved from about 9 minutes 40 per mile for the full half marathon to just about 9 minutes. So it was a pretty decent improvement, nice and steady, no stupid increases. And what I'm trying to do now is improve it from sort of 9 minutes to somewhere around 8:15, 8. I want to get just on the out. See, most people finish on 1 hour 45, 1 hour 46. I'd like to finish, if I can, around 1 hour 46, 1 hour 47. And gently, pull that in. Now I can see at 50, I started this. This will be the third Gosport Half Marathon. I am getting old. That's why I call myself the senior runner. 2 hours 6, 1 hour 56, 55. What about 1 hour 56? I think it was last year. And I'm sort of hoping for a similar sort of decrease. So 2 hours 9 to 1 hour 56. I'm hoping for 1 hour 46. I think that's pretty much doable. Following if I can follow the Garmin training. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through it as I've done it. I've just done the baseline run for 2 minutes jogging, 2 minutes jogging, 6 minutes. Was 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Yeah, 2 minutes jogging, 5 minutes hard running, and then 2 minutes cool down. It's 7 minutes 16 per mile, which for the running section, which is really good. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm starting with a baseline of 7 minutes 16 for the on the Garmin app. So that's where I'm starting. As of today, the Gosport run, which are these 2 yellow ones here. Yeah, these 2 here. When you do it backwards, it's very difficult, guys. I want to move that finger, don't I? Woo, those 2. We have to have a bit of fun. It's very flat. it's by the sea. You do come off the sea at one point and go up and round to the start line. So you start along. You start by a caravan park, and then you go out, turn left, and you've got your first point where you actually circle. You're going to come back to and circle around, and you go all the way down the front, all the way down the road, all the way along the coastline, and then it's like steps back a little bit and goes quickly down and up and to the top of the cliff, small cliff, and then comes back down the cliff sort of 100 yards later along the actual seafront path with the beach on one side of you and a bit of embankment on the left, and you run all the way back down the seafront, and then you come through a car park, just go up about 6-7 foot round the corner, turn round and do it all again. And it's really, really flat. The only trouble is it's seafront, isn't it? The first time I did it, it was just right, and I think the conditions were perfect. It was a little bit cool. There was a little bit of a drizzle in the air. It was perfect. Last year, we had one of these named storms that came through just about 3 o'clock in the morning. So you can imagine at 10 o'clock in the morning, it was gale force. And it was blowing straight through from the Isle of Wight, straight across this beach, straight 90 degrees on to the runners, bang. And you're trying to run. Well, I was going past several bus shelters. And of course, you go into the bus shelter and you get sheltered. So you whoosh, you step into the bus shelter. And then as you step out, you sort of level yourself a bit, step out of the bus shelter, and you hit the window again, go whoosh, straight into the path of the person next to you. And you think, oh, this is insane. And but it was great fun. It really was. I met some people there was one person I met afterwards. It was open for 1 hour 25 and he hit 1 hour 45. So if it's a named gale like last time, the seafront gets hit side on, straight across the Isle of Wight, straight in front, and it's like you've got two things to consider. You got to think the person next to you, you're going to get blown in front of, and the fact that you've got to do this twice, and it's coming from the side, and you're thinking, this is insane. You're fighting the wind and you're fighting not hitting the person next to you. But the first year it was brilliant, and I'm hoping for a really good year this year. I really do want to take you with me. I do hope some people do comment, listen to this and comment, because I'm on the south coast. I'm always looking for a nice gentle run. I don't mind hills. I don't mind 1 or 2. I did my best in the last 15 years. 15 years ago, that 1.5 hour one. That was in the New Forest. So I'm always up for a bit of a hill, and that, believe me, that had one massive hill in it. So I'm always up for any suggestions. And I don't like reading the books. If people have any suggestions on here as to nice half marathons, then please do tell me, because I'm always up for a nice half marathon. I have got a car now, so I can knit pretty much wherever I want to, as long as I can get away from work. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting. I think it's 15 weeks. So I've started today, and I hope to bring you along. The people who are popping in and disappearing, it tends not to tell me who's in. So if you are still in, just pop down roughly where you are, and if there are any decent half marathons near you, and I'll even start the chat, because I think that's what this channel has always been about. It's been about trying to create a bit of a community, trying to also get people to discuss what watches they use and if they've had any issues, because when I bought the Garmin 245, there were a lot of people saying there's nowhere to go apart from Garmin's help site, and I had a couple of problems, and one of them was actually a system error with the watch, and I complained, and And they actually changed it. It's actually now no longer an issue. You can't crash your watch. You used to be able to crash the Garmin 245 watch. And when I went on Facebook, I realized other people knew that you could crash it. And so I like to discuss things like this, and I like to get, my view is, well, actually, I've done this and I've crashed it, so I crashed the watch, and I discuss things with people on the internet, and I go, that happened to me. I did that, and I pressed the button on the years view or something, and it crashed. And it's interesting because then I reported it to Garmin, and they went back to those people I'd talked to on my lives, and it crashes. They're going to change it, and in the next version of Garmin 245, they actually fixed that bug, so you could no longer crash it. It would give you a yellow, green, blue bar for the full year, instead of giving you sort of like, oops, shit, it's not working, I've crashed it. So that's where I come from. I want to give you things as they are. Have I tried something like lifting the knee? Can I do it for more than a mile? See, I always tell you, lift the knee, get that form and posture right. And it does great for me on short runs. But can I do it for more than 2 or 3 miles? That's the question. I've managed to do it for 3 or 4 miles, and it does work absolutely brilliantly. But it's like taking off too quick. You're using a lot more energy lifting the leg. So you've got to be able to, I think I've got to be mindful of building the leg muscles and then try and ease that off. So I'm going to be doing a video or two on hitting the plateau. And this is where I'm going to bring in that idea of at what point should you think about bringing in lifting the knee and getting that posture right, because it does give you a little bit more strain, because it takes a lot more energy to lift your knee further, whether we like it or not. But you are going faster, and you do feel it flows a lot easier, so you feel better, but you are using more energy. So technically you get faster and you go further quicker, but you might run out a little bit earlier of energy. And there are some little analytical points that we need to think about, because, and I'm not going to go onto it here, I'll do it on a video, but it's one of those cases where I say, well, I don't want to do it, and I'll get to the point where I go to a plateau, and then I'll try it then, but then my times are going to go down and then go back up again. And at that point where you go plateau and down, that's where a lot of beginners say, well, bugger it, I'm not going to, this is ridiculous, I've hit where I'm going to get, I'll finish. But that's me being honest and sort of bringing how I probably would have done 10 years ago. So please join me on my run. I'm going to be going through the training. At first, I've not got a camera to run with. I will be getting I think I'll be getting one of these GoPros, because they don't cost too much, and I hope to be able to take you along with me on some of the runs. So hopefully you'll come watch some of the videos of my training, probably in about 2 months' time, I should think. But until then, we'll be doing little reports like this, and I'll be coming on live, and hopefully some of you will decide to join me and have a bit of a chat. So what do I want from this? I want to give you a little bit more information about how the good points have come about. Any bad points that I found out that, hey, this didn't work and I tried it. And the other sites have said that it's a possible way of improving performance, and it didn't work for me, or it did work for me. And but instead of just saying go do it, because I've got half a lung on the left, so it may not work for you. I want to just give that information, chat about it. That's what I want to give you. And from you, I'd like a little bit of, let's build a community. Let's try and drive it so that we've got people here who can just, if I put a live stream on and give you all half an hour. Hopefully, some of you might pop on and have a quick chat. I mean, it's what time is it at the moment? It's 6 o'clock in the evening here. Perhaps I can start to drift a particular day and time into it. But it'll be nice to be able to discuss things with you. I'm going to take you along on my training as I go forward to November with the Gosport Half Marathon. Nice flat one. I'm going to be training on mainly the flat. I'm on the top of the hill though, so that's not really that easy. Hopefully you'll come along and join me. Hopefully there'll be more of you staying a little bit more than 3 seconds and having a chat with me, because I do like to have a quick chat, and I do like to think people are listening. I'm sure people will. I'm sure people will listen, and hopefully you'll comment about the best, nice, age-friendly, shall we say, half marathons, because we've got these people who are sort of 70. I ran with a 70-year-old in the last one, and I kept sort of toing and froing with him till the last mile, and he just rocketed on. And he says, "I've done really well today." He said, I said, "I'm really proud." He said, "I'm going to beat 1 hour 50." He says, "And I've just been on a really hilly one." And he'd just done 2 hours 6 just over 2 hours on this big hill half marathon the week before, and he'd come to this one and done this one, and he says, it's really good. I've beaten my season's best. And I'm thinking, wow, that's where I want to be. I want to be like him. If I'm like him at 70 years old, God, I'd love it. He just disappeared into the bloody distance, and the last mile of the Gosport Half Marathon, he rocketed it. So that's where I want to be. I want to take you with me. Come and join it. It's going to be great fun. And even if you have a laugh at my expense, so be it. But please come and join me. And I hope to see you in the future. So till then, goodbye and have a nice weekend.